light snow, mainly in your overnight. Otherwise, it'll just be mostly cloudy with temperatures around 18 and a little bit of a chance for snow in the morning on Thursday, but it should just be cloudy and then become mostly sunny for the rest of Thursday with a high near 31 degrees.
They mix it up a lot, and I can listen to them for longer periods of time.
Let's rock. SN.
And good morning. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's 8:34 on a Thursday morning. Thanks, Angela. You're all right. And it's Thursday morning. I'm kind of befuddled right now because I forgot my phone because when we go live and stuff, I got to share it around to different places so they can see it as well. So anyway, let's move on. Angela Adams is here from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as Pam Kinder from UCFS Healthcare. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on in today. So Angela, let's start off with you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Give us an idea what's going on. I mean, with COVID-19.
Yep.
Over the last year, and you guys are the chamber is a very active group.
Yes.
Unfortunately, with COVID-19, it's kind of brought things down to a snail's pace, maybe as far as outdoor activities are concerned. But you guys are still doing lots of things. Maybe you can give us an update of what's happening.
I think we're actually doing more. It seems that everybody's busier than more. But last year we actually had some events at the Rock the Docks Dodge Stadium. Yes. So that was pretty good. So we actually still were able to pull some events together, but it's extremely difficult right now trying to figure out how to have these virtual events and still just keep people connected, because that's what the chamber does. We try to keep people connected. And of course, not having any networking events in person was making it a lot more difficult. So we've decided this month in particular, and next month, we're going to be focusing on virtual lunch and learns. So from 12 to 1 every Tuesday and Friday, we're focusing on healthcare and social media marketing. So on Tuesdays is social media marketing, and on Fridays is healthcare. So this Friday, we actually have a seasonal affective disorder discussion that we're going to have, and it's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
They're really interesting.
Yeah, thank you. We had Dr. Vora that was on talking about discussions with vaccinations. A lot of people had a lot of questions on vaccinations. So we're just there to help our community and our business owners figure out what are the answers that they need to keep going. Really.
Can you tell us more about Dr. Vora and what kind of things that he was talking about?
That particular day, it was on vaccination. So the vaccinations, we actually had something with Patrick from Uncas Health, Patrick McCormick, in December. And that was right when the vaccinations had come out. And he was just explaining, with Patrick, he was explaining how it was going to work, who was going to be vaccinated, and just those questions that the businesses had. And municipalities, actually, they had a lot of questions as well. But Dr. Vora came in and he started to answer the other questions, discussing what can they expect with the vaccination, with the first vaccination and the second vaccination? How long should you wait in between? What are some of the side effects that people are having? Are they going to make it mandatory? That was a big question. That's a big discussion going on right now with whether or not they're going to make it mandatory for businesses, and how it just affects people in general. What are the concerns that they have? And I think it went over probably 20 minutes over the hour because people still had questions on it. So he was very informational to help fill those voids that people have.
What kind of activity are you getting? Are you getting a lot of participation, within the groups and stuff?
Yeah, actually, it depends. It really depends. That day we had around 20. Then we had another one that was our social media classes. Actually, they're filling up, but some of them anywhere from 8 to 10 to 20, 25 people. So it really depends on the subject. I think this Friday is going to be pretty busy. Again, seasonal affective disorder. I know that's something that I've always been affected by. I'm a summer person. I coach, I play volleyball, I'm outside. Yeah. And then once I'm not coaching anymore, and then it gets cold and you're kind of stuck inside, I go into a little bit of a depression.
We've been in a inside mentality for a year.
Yes.
Let's face it. So even the summer, even though we got to be outside during the summer, it was still with the mask and social distancing. So I think people have had enough of the masks and quarantines and self-isolation, and I'm ready for warmer weather.
I am too. And these virtual meetings, they really aren't the same. However, I'm trying to encourage people to still stay connected. It's very easy to even Zoom. It's very hard because we talk about this too. You just put your, the black photo up with your name there in front of it. And then you just kind of sit behind it and you're distracted. You have to really invest if you're going to invest in these, really take it in and start to communicate and talk to people. Or it's the same thing as watching TV. You're not really going to engage as much as you should or want to take in from it. So we encourage everybody. They're free and open to the public, open to businesses. It's not just chamber members. We're really, again, encouraging people to stay connected with one another. And anybody can join those.
And I think they have. I think it's allowed a more personal aspect to getting to know people and networking because, some people aren't comfortable walking to a big room with 60, 70 people in it. But on Zoom, you still get to know people and then you reach out to them on a personal level. So I think, although this pandemic's been terrible, it's brought out the best in a lot of people. And I think people have learned different ways to network, which are going to help them grow.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's one of the things with our chamber networking in-person events that we've done. Obviously, our business after hours can bring in over 130 people. But what we've tried to do is have those Biz Blender events, those smaller networking for reasons like that. But You're absolutely right. If you engage, and that's one of the reasons why I love these discussions that we're having Tuesdays or Fridays. It's not anybody talking to you or at you. They're talking with you. Dr. Vora was, I thought, really great about, he says, okay, this is what it is. We all know about the vaccination, but what are the questions you have?
Yes.
And then I don't think he really had anything planned. He had all the answers, that he could answer at this time, but it was interesting.
This whole thing has just messed me up.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like Pam, you just brought up a point about, well, you did too, about staying connected and maybe being awkward and people don't want to walk into a room with like 60, 70 people. When you said that, it went wing right in my head because I'm thinking, well, that's me. Because even though I do this and I do public speaking and all, I'm a nervous wreck whenever I walk into a room or if I'm about to go in front of a microphone. People think I'm a game show host or something like that. I'm just going to go, hey, what's going on? I'm a nervous wreck. And actually the whole thing with Zoom and doing, the online type of meetings has almost given me like a little safety ring, so if I want to get up and get a drink, I can do that, and
Sure.
Well, even in the school systems, that's been a little bit of a concern, as that I still think you still need to stay connected in person and such.
Right.
So I have some questions on how this is going to affect people in a long term. And that I coach with the students and I work very closely with NFA and Griswold and different schools on trying to connect the businesses with these students. But they're doing a great job at the school systems to create networking events via Zoom.
Sure.
So they're not just, again, the teachers aren't just talking to them and they're just sitting behind a fake picture.
So give us an idea of what kind of things you're doing with UCFS Healthcare, as far as the chamber is concerned, or maybe Pam can go ahead and how is the chamber helping UCFS Healthcare, getting the word out of what you guys are doing, especially with the vaccines.
So yeah, I mean they help. They refer calls to us. So UCFS hasn't stopped a beat. When testing became important, we've tested over 9,878 individuals.
Wow.
Of that, 795 have tested positive. We test at our Norwich, Plainfield, and Griswold locations 4 and 5 days a week, from 9 to 11, so anybody could come in, no appointment necessary. Again, it's important to be tested if you think you have the symptoms. And then next, it came vaccinations. So we've vaccinated over 1,500 people so far, again, in our Norwich, Plainfield, and Griswold locations. So really what it's done is the chamber, somebody might call and say, I need an appointment, I don't know where to go. The chamber helps refer to us. And then also our food pantry. The chamber has been instrumental in helping us get the word out about our food pantry. So back in April of last year, we took our food pantry on the road and we provide pop-up events every single week. We had one yesterday. We provided over 120 bags to individuals who need food. So the chamber is there for us. Anything we need to do to help us promote, to make sure they're getting our important information out that UCFS is still open. We're still providing medical, dental, and behavioral health services, and they're a great partner for UCFS.
Well, I know just like from our family, UCFS is our local doctor.
Mine too.
You know, yeah. So like all of us, you know, that we have some sort of visibility within UCFS. Myself and Melissa and Cameron and Samantha. You know, they're at home. Everybody is. We all go to somebody at UCFS. Let me ask you this, and I've never asked this of any provider, but what kind of have you gotten any pullback, you know, from people wanting to do, you know, not wanting to do, say, the telehealth kind of, and where's the line as far as when you have to decide, well, you know what, telehealth is not going to work for this.
Right.
You need to come into the office.
Right. So I think it varies whether it's medical or behavioral health. Clearly, dental isn't as big with telehealth. But there are situations
Can't pull a tooth that way.
You can't. No. You can't assess somebody who's having some type of behavioral health issue potentially via telehealth all the time. Some people need to be seen in the office, and through this whole pandemic, UCFS has provided either telehealth or in person, keeping in mind the safety of the patient and our providers. And the same thing with medical. You know, there's not always, a mother's not always comfortable with an infant saying, can you diagnose them via telehealth? I want to be seen. So what we've done is we have well visits in the morning and sick visits in the afternoon. So never the two shall meet. And that way we provided the opportunity for those who want to be seen and need to come in. But most people love telehealth. Our behavioral health clinicians, patients love it. There's no transportation issues.
Yeah.
They're in their own home. The
point.
younger generation are comfortable with technology. So for them to be able to sit in the comfort of their home and chat with their clinician using that technology. So most of the time people love it. Even the elderly patients who have transportation issues, if they have the technology and know about it, they don't mind sitting at home. So telehealth, I don't think will go away when the pandemic goes away. I think it will be another opportunity to connect with people who may not want to come into a building. And you're also hearing that people don't want to come into our building, but still want to receive care. They can do it in the comfort from their home without interacting with anybody.
It sounds like even though the pandemic has been awful for everybody,
a lot of good things that are going to come out
a
of this.
lot of good things are coming out of this, new and different ways of finding on how to do business.
Right.
Now, are you finding that from some of your members?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of things feedback are you getting?
What I am starting to see is a lot of businesses that had a 3 or 5 year plan that had something on the back burner are now going right to that, so this has given them the opportunity to kind of push themselves to get to that next level. If they're going to be expanding their business, or, a lot of them are still working from home. And they're learning to do it. They've learned to do it. However, they're still going to keep the office and such because you still need to get together. You still need to work with your team in different ways. So they're learning to kind of pivot in all different directions. But I've seen some members and businesses, not even just members, but businesses, they say, I feel bad for saying that this is one of my successful years, and they shouldn't. No. In that sense, but I hear them kind of staying a little humble in that sense. But those are the businesses, the landscapers and a lot of the contractors and stuff. They're saying that they've done better than ever, so it's a 50-50 on who you're really talking to, but unfortunately businesses are closing. We're a chamber, a membership based business, and we've lost some members obviously because of closure or downsizing and such. But for the most, I'd say that, they're hanging in there. Our community has done an incredible job sticking together, but it is challenging. It's challenging for everybody. Ryan right here, there was a great write-up the other day
in the paper. Yeah.
Yes. And he's just so humble. One of the things he says is that, he can't thank enough people for everything in all the community, but he was able to do things that people, the drive-by parade, at the parade itself stood still, but you drove by it. I mean, those are things
that
outside of the
fun.
box. Yes, I know.
Fun.
I mean, and you had so much success from that, but those are the ideas that you have to have. You have, us moving. It took a little bit of time to figure out how we were going to do it, but moving my Rock the Docks, to rock the Dodd Stadium. So we had a great partner with the city. The city helped me to pull that together.
Even from branding, I mean, it went from
Right.
Doc to Dodd. I mean,
Yeah.
it really didn't do anything bad.
Yeah.
It was good.
I mean, Pam, when I told her the idea, I said, listen, I want to do one more concert. So we had the 4 concerts. It took us a little bit. So it started a little bit later in the season, but all our sponsors came back, and it melts my heart because they all came back because they knew that the community needed something, right?
And then you added a food collection
Yes.
for the food pantry. So, and that's the thing. I mean, it really has, I think, brought out the best in a lot of people because people are taking care of each other, and they have some time to reflect and say, who can I help and where can I make a difference? And Listella's, he's constantly doing something or giving free pizza away for those that are out plowing or working. And there's hundreds of people that have stepped up and provided care and shoveling for somebody and their neighbor. And I think people have really become more connected.
Absolutely.
And they remember that stuff.
They do.
Well, like she was
Absolutely.
talking about
I remember
Justin at Listella's,
Yeah.
NFA was having that. They didn't know how to do their food, the bowls. It's a charity every year that they do, and they get their students, to make the soup and everything for the soups, and then they have their their culinary, and then what's the pottery. They all the students made the bowls. They were starting to run out because it was so successful. 25 minutes into this 2-hour event, I called up Justin and I said, Justin, do you have soup? And he's like, what do you need? He came back within 20 minutes. I mean, came back with pasta fajoule, clam chowder, and chicken noodle soup, donated it all back, and I was able to keep the event because there was probably 50 cars already in line.
Wow.
And they already ran out of 2 out of the 5 soups at the time. So, I mean, it's stuff like that. I mean, I called Pam up for that extra I was going to throw, and I said, listen, we already did the Rock the Dot, but I want to throw one more concert on there for the essential workers. And I said, and then she's like, I'm in. What do I need? Let's do this. Let's do that. And she's the one that helped. You did the food pantry.
Mhm.
You did COVID testing at the time. We had, flu vaccinations. We had masks. We had 650 masks, that were donated to us to hand out. So that's exactly what it is. Everybody came together and stood up. So
I think one of the things that is important to note too is with you working with local business and helping them out, and then like companies like UCFS, and it's not just your local doctor; they're your community partner.
Mhm.
You find that with Eastern Savings Bank, and Lisa Griffin, and we talking about Listella's, and we have a comment here about Listella's. Just read it to you. It says, Justin at Listella's is amazing. He's also a Griswold resident.
Mhm.
That was from my friend Scott Fryer.
Nice.
Yes, he's amazing. Scott's also amazing.
Don't feed
Hi,
his
Scott.
ego. Do not feed his ego.
So
Don't do that.
It's been definitely a challenge. Last year we also did our epic blood drive right in the beginning when all the blood drives were being canceled, right? Everybody didn't know how to do it. So we still held it. We ended up having 120 donors that day because it was just something. Our goal was 65 originally, and we doubled it. But we're going to have another one coming up on I forget the date, on March 19th.
Yeah.
And we're kind of the epic blood drive is back. But again, it's about how do we pull together and help our community, and there's a lot of businesses that are going to be helping with that as well.
So UCFS healthcare, like, so right now, you're doing the COVID shots in Jewett City with Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
We're good, and we're actually going to expand capacity. So we do testing Monday through Thursday from 9 to 11 there, and then we're doing vaccinations by appointment, and we're going to be expanding that capacity shortly, and hopefully get up to at least 100 or more a week that we can do. Again, our staff are pulled. We're still seeing patients. We're still doing testing, and now you're adding the vaccination in all of our sites. So it's been difficult to staff everything, but we found a way.
You have a great flow, though. It takes a little bit. Took 2 to 3 weeks to kind of get that flow with the vaccinations going, and then it wasn't. They couldn't have taken more vaccinations at the time because of staffing, and now they have this great flow, and people have additional volunteers.
We do. We've hired temporary staff, and the National Guard, Connecticut National Guard, has been fantastic. So they're helping us with testing, as well as administrative for the vaccinations.
So what's next? If we could look into our crystal ball, or you have an idea, of like, where does this transition into? What is it like in the healthcare industry? what are they looking at for as metrics are concerned? Where, and this may be a very unfair question to ask you, so.
Well, I listened to a doctor, and, he was hoping that spring, that we would see a difference. And he's like, I'm not optimistic. I say this into 2022 now, continue to wear the masks and the social distancing. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I think people can't have a false sense of security once they're vaccinated. We're still going to need to wear masks. We're still going to need to social distance. But I'm hoping slowly that social distancing, you can gather with more people other than your bubble. Yeah. But I'm not really sure. I mean, I haven't gone out to dinner in a year. And
that's the answer right there. I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure.
And I think that's very important that you said that, because people are, I get it all the time. I don't know why they ask me. I'm not a medical professional, or I'm saying, well, because you talk to people. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I do, but I don't. Where are we going from here? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. And the people that are in that profession, they don't know. And that's the answer. I think that's what people have to hear.
I think the important thing is if you're hesitant about being vaccinated, learn more about it. Ask your provider, ask your friends, ask a trusted colleague, and learn more about the vaccination, because that's going to be key for us to get to herd mentality. And if people are hesitant and don't want to get it, I totally understand, but learn about the facts, not the false facts that you're hearing and that's being spread, because it's really important. I've had both doses. I'm perfectly fine. I felt invigorated, like I did my part. Right. And so I'm hoping more people understand it. And, I joke that, I haven't turned green and grown, 6 heads. And so if you're hesitant about it, and, I have family members who are like raring to go, when it's my time, I want to be in line to get vaccinated. And so learn more about the vaccine. Stay at home if you're not feeling good. There's plenty of places to get tested if you think you may have COVID, and, do the right thing, wear a mask and social distance where you can.
Yeah.
Very good. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll come back. We'll finish up.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Here. It's SNSN Internet Radio. We're talking to Angela Adams from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce, and Pam Kinder from UCFS Healthcare. And we'll be back to finish up with them in just a minute, right here on SNSN Internet Radio.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
We are the future. Griswold Parks and Rec is a parent's one-stop source for all things fun. Town events, sports, fitness, and enrichment for all ages. We love our residents. Let us prove it. Go to griswoldrec.org.
Do you have a junk car, or maybe one that got blown up and caught on fire? The guys from Scrap for Cash, they don't care. They're going to come to you. They're going to tow it away for free, and then they're going to pay you $275 for it. Scrap for Cash will turn that heat in your backyard into money, so you can pay bills, taxes, groceries, and right on the town. Find Scrap for Cash on Facebook or call 860-373-2556. Scrap for Cash.
I'm going to tell you a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Once upon a time, my neighbor took some stuff called heroin, or maybe something else called fentanyl, but it killed her. The end. She was the best neighbor you could ever have. I can only imagine how her 12-year-old daughter feels. This is a story that is told more and more every single day. People that are addicted to opioids are just like you and I. It's your neighbor, it's your uncle, or even your mother. Good people that have gotten sick and they are dying. This story can change. Prescription drug abuse is a serious public health issue that can be faced effectively with the right resources and education. Don't let opioids have the last word. I can change the script. You can change the script. We can change the script.
For additional resources, go to www.drugfreeconnecticut.org. This message brought to you by Griswold Pride, Putnam Pride, and United Service.
Buy better. Better with Burns. Much better. So much better with Burns. The right insurance season, and the Burns Agency wants to remind you of a few precautions you can take to keep safe this season. It's a great time to make sure your chimney is serviced before the chestnuts start roasting. Before that Thanksgiving turkey drops in the deep fryer, be sure all smoke detectors are in working order. Let's clean out the gutters and properly dispose of our combustibles. Make space for our shovels, scrapers, and driveway salts. Last but not least, give the Burns Agency a chance to review your current coverage for any cost-saving opportunity or policy enhancements your current plan might be missing. Call, email, chat us online. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the show. We got about just a minute or so to kind of wrap up with Angela and Pam. So, ladies, thank you very much for coming on in today. It's been a while since I've seen either one of you.
Yeah.
So
the last time I saw you was at Griswold when you and Scott actually recording the game.
Exactly,
the volleyball
game. So hopefully we're going to continue doing chamber chat. You're going to bring in hopefully a member once a month. We'll talk about.
I thought I'd start with one of the best right here. So
start with Pam. Sure, absolutely. So I'm assuming the vaccinations, or I should say the testing is just going to continue to go.
Yes. Yeah.
The
testing is going to be needed. The vaccinations certainly are needed. Well visits, you see a lot, people are hesitant to get their well visits, and that's equally important. Yeah. We want to make sure that you're getting your normal vaccinations that you need for your kids and yourself, and taking care of yourself. This is a huge stressor for people financially. The social isolation, people aren't dealing with it well. Increase in children having suicide plans. We're seeing that in our organization. So we just really need to take care of each other, look out for your neighbor, and try to get through as best you can. But UCFS is here. We provide medical, dental, behavioral health services, regardless of a person's ability to pay. We're local, as you said at the beginning. We're here. Our staff are part of the community in which they work in, and we're here to help however we can.
Angela, any parting words of wisdom from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce?
Just saying the same thing. We're here as a resource as well. And we work very closely with all our partners in the community as well as our businesses. So what she said, look out for your neighbors, but look out for your businesses as well, and try to shop local, and support local whatever way you can. If you can't do it financially, it's okay. Go on there, give a good review on their Facebook pages, say some nice things about them. They want to hear that you're still thinking about them. So
very good. Ladies, thank you very much for coming on in.
Thank you.
Okay, it's Angela Adams from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce and Pam Kinder from UCFS Healthcare. So we got Joe the Time Traveler coming up after news. Joe's already checked into the room there. I see him ready to go. There he is, waving. There he is.
Hi.
Got his North Face hat on today. So we'll be talking time travel and see... interesting thing. We don't know where the hell we're going with that half the time, but it is fun, and we're going to be joined by Joe. Well, he's already joined us, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Hey. It's SNSN Internet Radio. I'll be back in a minute.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports, and your home for local news and weather.
Broadcasting from Main Street in the borough of Jewett City.
The Streaming News and Sports Network, SNSN.
The 9 a.m. report on the Streaming News and Sports Network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want, eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
I love working here because of the people, and I get to work with my family every day.
Come to Charlene's Diner for the best breakfast you've ever had.
That was Brittany and Matt from Charlene's Diner on Main Street in Jewett City. There are only a few things that have been able to stand the test of time in Jewett City, and one of them just happens to be Charlene's Diner, who just celebrated their 40th anniversary in business. How do you stay in business that long in a small town like Jewett City? It's a simple recipe, really great food and friendly service, and of course, family. You'll feel like family too, because you'll always be greeted with a smile that makes you feel like you're right at home. Stop by for breakfast or lunch 7 days a week. If you don't have any time, well, that's no problem. Order ahead and your food will be waiting for you when you walk into Charlene's door. You can find Charlene's Diner on Facebook too. Stop in and join the family for breakfast or lunch today.
I'm Charlene. Come to Charlene's Diner and order what you want and eat what you get.
The 9 a.m. report on the streaming news and sports network is being brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want, eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
I love working here because of the people, and I get to work with my family every day.
Come to Charlene's Diner for the best breakfast you've ever had.
That was Brittany and Matt from Charlene's Diner on Main Street in Jewett City. There are only a few things that have been able to stand the test of time in Jewett City, and one of them just happens to be Charlene's Diner, who just celebrated their 40th anniversary in business. How do you stay in business that long in a small town like Jewett City? It's a simple recipe, really great food and service, and of course, family. You'll feel like family too, because you'll always be greeted with a smile that makes you feel like you're right at home. Stop by for breakfast or lunch 7 days a week. If you don't have any time, well, that's no problem. Order ahead and your food will be waiting for you when you walk into Charlene's door. You can find Charlene's Diner on Facebook too. Stop in and join the family for breakfast or lunch today.
I'm Charlene. Come to Charlene's Diner and order what you want and eat what you get.
Here's a look at your local news headlines on SNSN Internet Radio. It's budget season in Connecticut, and a couple of things that happened just yesterday is Governor Lamont released his budget proposal to the state, and there are two items that he is looking to push into law in the state of Connecticut. One of them is sports gambling. He states that Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and other area states have, and he wants that money here in the state. The second one was he's looking to legalize recreational marijuana. So we will watch and keep you updated on how the state budget plays out. As far as Griswold is concerned, Sean McKenna from Griswold Public Schools released his initial budget proposal for the town of Griswold and public schools. And as of right now, the budget is showing an increase that they're asking for of 2.49%. It was announced on Monday that residents over the age of 65 will be eligible to schedule COVID-19 vaccination appointments starting on Thursday, February 11th, as the state rolls into the next part of Phase 1B of its vaccination program. Vaccinations for individuals over the age of 75 and those within Phase 1A will continue. With approximately 350,000 individuals in Connecticut between the ages of 65 and 74, and a slightly increased but relatively small weekly supply of the vaccine being received in the state from the federal government, Governor Lamont said state public health officials are stressing the need for patience on the part of Connecticut residents. Currently, the state anticipates receiving about 60,000 first doses of the vaccine per week from the federal government. All eligible residents are required to make an appointment in advance to receive the vaccine. To find available vaccination clinics throughout the state, residents can visit ct.gov/COVID vaccine and enter their zip code. And as always, you can simply call 211. A silver alert has been issued for a missing Norwich senior, Teofilo Vilches from Norwich. He's described as being 69 years old. He has gray hair and brown eyes. He stands about 5'5" and weighs about 146 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue jacket, gray sweater, blue jeans, and black dress shoes. Once again, he's missing from Norwich. And if you have any information on where Mr. Vilches may be, please call Norwich Police at 886-5561. That's 860-886-5561.
The 9 a.m. report on SNSN has been brought to you by Charlene's Diner, 37 Main Street, Jewett City. Family owned for almost 40 years. Order what you want. Eat what you get. That's Charlene's Diner.
All right. Good morning. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's 8 minutes after 9. It's Thursday. I kind of kept Angela here from the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce, and the reason why is because how can you leave when you got Joe on?
I know. I want to learn about Joe just for a couple minutes before I have to leave.
Hey, Joe,
Hey,
it's a real
Angela.
plush mask.
Hi.
Yeah, I always have, something different.
I'm waiting for one day you're going to show up and we're not going to even see your face.
I have a couple of those as well. So
Yeah, you should be one time. They got a whole bunch of signatures on them from people.
yeah, everyone that was on the initial social media account. Yeah.
Yeah, so social media. I haven't seen you much on social media lately.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of different things, trying to get another social media up and running in regards to cryptocurrency because of the financial collapse that's looming. Trying to prepare as many people as I can.
So you talk about you've talked about it before, the financial collapse and everything. Now let's for people that are not familiar with who you are, you're Joe. You're from the year 2030. You traveled back to the year 2012, and you've been here 9 years now, going on 9 years. You have an objective that you're supposed to take care of at some point. We don't know what that is, and we don't need to know.
Right.
What is this microphone you got now?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It's you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get official.
Headphones,
microphone, yeah, the whole nine.
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot going on, and it's fun because time is flying. My perception of time is a little right. But my perception of time is a little different since I came back. So, I like being busy.
I got a couple of texts. Like when we do these interviews, especially on Streamline. That's Stella, right?
Yeah, that's Stella. I apologize.
That's all right.
She wants you guys to know she's here as well.
The best way to watch and listen to the broadcast is to actually jump up on Facebook and go on to our SNSN radio page, my personal page, YouTube, the SNSN YouTube page. That way, and you'll be able to hear everything perfectly on those channels. So you were talking about. Let's get back to the financial collapse that you were talking about. So back in your timeline, when did this all happen?
I mean, we are right here, right now. So within the next couple months, with them printing all of this money and hyperinflation about to take place, this financial system that current day is going to collapse and be replaced by a new monetary system. Which is why I'm really trying to push cryptocurrencies on my social medias. A couple years from now, there'll be two kinds of people. There'll be the people that took place in this in the very beginning, and those that did not. And I can tell you right now, you do not want to be someone who did not. So I'm doing everything I can to get this information out there.
Now, here's one thing I want to ask you, because my questions kind of pop up all the time, and even when we talk offline, it's like I don't even think about it. But did they have cryptocurrency in your timeline?
Yeah. So there is a one currency, and crypto is kind of it's still around, not like it is today. You have thousands and thousands of different projects out there. There are a few that stand the test of time, but there's regulation coming down the pipeline. The government is not going to let this currency be decentralized for too much longer. But right now, time is of the essence. Right now is the time to jump in, learn how this this works, and possibly even learn how to trade and take control of your financial future.
Angela, do you have anything you want to comment about that? Because you're
Not
very,
yet.
very much in tune with business and local business. And here we have a gentleman that's talking about getting into, different forms of currency and stuff like that. So how do you envision the future? Any idea?
No, I don't.
You live in the moment.
I'm living it. Well, yeah, one day at a time. That's the only way we can. We're trying to plan things out, but it's very hard to even plan next month.
Well, you
Unfortunately.
hear the government already talking about fiat currency being dirty from a physical standpoint. I've told you COVID is the catalyst for all this change. Everything that in the future, you can draw a direct line right back to COVID. So the fiat currencies are going away, and you'll start to see that this year. You'll start to see the Fed push a digital dollar. China also has a digital yen that they are about to release, and so on and so forth. So
now, I guess what people don't realize too, what they forget to realize, is that they're already, like, as far as the fiat currencies. Now that you're talking paper money, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, and every country has their own currency and stuff like that. We have the U.S. dollar, and there's the yen, and is the ruble even still there? I don't even know.
I think so.
Yeah, or is it all the what was it, the what does the EU have? I forgot.
The euro. And the
yeah,
euro.
the euro. Yeah,
That's the EU.
What was the EU? I was having a Polish moment there. Christ. So cryptocurrency is something to go forward with.
Yeah, and
So-
we're actually going to push that very, very heavy. Teach people how to buy, how to trade it, how to use it, because it has utility in everyday life. So, and that's only going to grow.
You have any cryptocurrency?
No.
I have
I've never even heard of cryptocurrency.
Angela, you have
Until
to
just
get
this moment.
cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
yeah. So it's the
Bitcoin's
Bitcoin.
screaming right now. So.
gotcha. Okay.
Matter of fact, I want to check it right now to see where it was, because I even
It's
got my
like
daughter involved.
47,000, right around there.
It did hit 47 this morning. It's 47,493.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. Ooh, boy,
And with backing, Elon Musk, I mean, you have a lot of big players now bringing this more mainstream. So this will only continue.
Crazy. So what's here's another question I've never asked you. What is social media like in your timeline? Like, for example, is there Facebook? Is there TikTok? Is there YouTube?
Yeah. So social media still exists. I think we did talk about it briefly before, but it's more controlled. And you're seeing the starts of that, with this past administration and everything that's transpired since January, people being banned and whatnot. So yeah, it's much more controlled. So you don't have the liberty to go out and just say anything you want. In my time, where I come from.
Now, is that starting to happen now? You're saying,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
It's almost
absolutely.
like a time loop. And I know I've mentioned time loop before, but is it kind of like Joe? Even thinking about it yesterday when you told me what you've been doing, didn't you do that in your timeline as well?
What do you mean?
Same type of business?
Yeah. Yep.
So, are you in a time loop? I'd asked you that before.
I
You
don't
said
think
no.
so, but this company was suffering and about to close its doors. I have my experience from the past. I thought that I could, save people's jobs here in my community, because I am very active here without the mask, So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to help, and I mean, I'm having a little bit of buyer's remorse now because I actually have to get up and go into an office, which is, not something I've done in years, but Yeah, I think it's going to work out. But I don't know if it's a time loop. I mean, it's kind of weird that it was presented to me, the opportunity. But yeah, I don't know if it's a time loop.
Angela, do you have anything you want to know anything about?
No, I'll look it up. And I'll,
no.
I'll
I'm talking
pay
about the
attention.
future.
Yeah, you want to know anything about the future? And where's Paul? This is now the second time in a row there's no Paul.
Paul doesn't come in on Thursdays, and he probably won't even be in tomorrow. He probably because he's getting his second COVID shot tomorrow. So, yeah, he's getting it today. So
some people have side effects, some don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, I'm not I'm not against the vaccine. I've never talked down on the vaccine. I couldn't in good conscience tell people not to vaccinate. It's not something I've ever done. I just give them my opinion on the vaccine, which
You've
is
actually come out and said it's actually 100% safe.
Yeah, I mean, as far as all the crazy conspiracies, those are conspiracies for a reason,
So, all right, just to kind of like throw Angela in our little time loop. Mm-hmm. There you go. There's our show. Time loop.
Time loop. Yeah.
Time loop. There it is.
I'm glad.
What about 2028? Does anything that if you can think about it, anything relevant happen in 2028?
I mean, we're headed towards a one government. So everything from 2026 on is pushing that narrative. It's a very big change for a lot of people. Here at the end of this year, going into next year, the digital identifier is going to be presented to the public. That is something that even through all these years, there are a good group of people that still in 2028, mark of the beast. This is not good. This is not something I want in my body. But the one governance is in full effect around that time. So I don't know how many people pay attention to, there's a lot of stuff out on the internet, but some of it has relevance. About the Great Reset. I know people have called it that, leading into a one world currency, a one world government. So I mean, all of that is in full effect in the latter years of this decade. Everything that needs to change for the people that do not want this kind of life, and I'm sure there are people that wouldn't mind having a little more structure in society, but for the vast amount, at least here in the States, they want to be free. They want to be able to do what they want. These next 4 years are very crucial, very, very crucial.
Why is it very crucial?
If you want the narrative to change, I am a United States citizen. I love this country. I do not want to see a bigger government. I do not want to see our constitutional rights be taken from us. And slowly but surely, those are eroding. People are so caught up with everyday life. It's very ironic that all of this happened at the end of 2020. When people were focused on, holidays and things like that. All of this changed, the election, no matter what you believe, I'm not going to sit here and
things are happening when we're not realizing it.
Yeah, because you're so caught up in your everyday life, and it's all by design. COVID is the catalyst for everything that's coming, everything. And I can't stress it enough. If you focus on that, where it came from, is it a natural evolution or is it a manipulated virus in a laboratory? Those are the things.
I've always said it was a well-planned event.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
That was before I even started talking with you.
Yeah, I mean, very well planned for decades.
What's that,
And then-
Angela? Go.
I gotta go.
Oh, Angela's got to go. hit her with something, Joe.
Hit me, Joe.
Hit you with something?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know. What something do you what something do you want to hear? What's one question you want to know? That, I mean, it's got to be something that's
Cars. It says
not-
cars.
Cars?
What's going to happen with automobiles?
They're gonna be mainly electric by 2030. Retrofitted your older vehicles. Yeah, we're going away from gasoline all the way. But flying cars and things like that, no.
I was gonna say, is it gonna be like Jetsons?
No,
Jetsons.
not at least not within the next decade. It's not going to happen.
See,
drive
you said it before, John Towles. You said it before that Hollywood has really done a number on this subject, and it's nothing like what Hollywood depicts time travel to be.
No, absolutely not.
Like
They
there's no
glamorize it.
DeLorean.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
DeLorean. There's no flying cars.
There's no flux capacitor.
No, unfortunately not.
No. Matter of fact, I'll just tell you this. He talked about his actual travel, and he said, the actual travel took about 5 minutes, and he said one thing, it was very hard on his body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very difficult on his body. And he had his eyes closed the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wuss.
Okay.
I would have been looking out the window going, hey!
Well, there wasn't any windows or anything like that, That's
No.
the thing. Everyone has this perception that it's completely false.
All right, well, I know Angela's got a split because she's got things to do. She's got like real things to do.
I think I ran her off is what happened. She's like, oh
No,
my
you
gosh,
didn't.
time
He
traveler,
actually- he pulled
one
me
world
back in.
government.
No, not at all. He pulled me back in. I guess I told him I had 5 minutes. So
Hey,
I
Angela.
have a 10:30. Yes.
Cryptocurrency.
Okay. Thank you. This is interesting.
Look into it because it's going to be the difference.
I'll see you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, John.
Hey, take
She
care.
said take care.
I ran her off. That's what I did.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Let's see. Daryl wants to know, is Trump going to jail?
No, and that's a really good question. But I got to be honest with you. These individuals in power, political figures, it's very hard to put them in jail. And I'm not talking, the lower level, the mayor, even the governor. I'm talking the Clintons, the Bushes, the Trumps, the Obamas. Yeah, it's very no. He's not going to jail, and he's not going to start a new government, and he's not going to be the president of Texas. And there's so much out there. He is going to pave the way for his daughter to be president in 2024. I mean, that absolutely.
That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, he's going to be all over the TV soon. He's taking a little time off, and he earned it. So
this is going to be so interesting because it's not going to be Ivanka Trump versus Joe Biden, is it? It's going to be Ivanka Trump versus Kamala Harris.
Yeah. And it's weird because we've went from a man always being in this office, in this seat, to now a woman here really soon, and then 2 women duking it out in the next election. I mean, it's, just from the historic factor, it's pretty amazing to witness.
So good morning, everybody. The people that are just joining in on Facebook and on YouTube. If you have a question to ask Joe, just go ahead and pop it in the room there, and we'll put it up on the screen. Mikey Mercer says good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mikey.
Mallory's in the room. Says hi, Joe. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mallory.
And, but we're gonna try to do other things. You had mentioned something about Twitch, right? Was it Twitch?
Yeah.
What was it yesterday? If you asked me what I had. Discord.
So, I mean, here's what I'm
Talk
trying to
about that.
do essentially. I'm trying to, still have the social media, but have some one-on-one interaction. I mean, it's really like 1 on 25, but face-to-face interaction to teach cryptocurrency. We have a name. I have an individual that I met completely out of chance. The universe brought us together, who is very technical with his analysis, and he's been great. So we're trying to bring this to everyone, the average person that doesn't know much about cryptocurrency. You do not want to be left behind, because you will still be either in the same spot you are in, or even worse, you will fare worse in the future.
So just so you know, this is not a commercial for cryptocurrency at all. It's Joe. You're just really talking about what's coming down the pike.
Yeah. I'm this is nobody's paying me to do this. This is not a spot for crypto, but I mean, it's the future.
I ain't paying because I ain't got no budget.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no budget, man.
That's okay.
Bitcoin's. You think it'll hit 50 today?
No, but it's real soon. And then after 50, it's going to consolidate pretty heavy. So don't freak out when it consolidates. That's the cycle.
You talking about like a market correction kind of thing?
Yeah. Like a 25% correction. I mean, people see that. They freak out.
Like a week and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's normal for cryptocurrency. The volatility is still, very, very huge. So, but people freak out. Just like every financial market, the cryptocurrency market is heavily manipulated as well. And they, who we talk about all the time, is those 1%ers. They want you to freak out, sell your cryptocurrency so they can buy it up at a discounted rate. You got to be smarter. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate people on things that they don't teach in school for a reason.
Mikey Mercer says, easy, Mike. All you got to do is invest a few bucks. Mikey, I'm in. Trust me. Oh, I'm in. I'm in on a few of them. So another one that I jumped in on is CeeLo, which is kind of like a they're saying it's kind of like a Venmo for crypto.
Yeah.
So and that's performing well in the last couple of weeks. It's up like 20%. So again, let's see. Kimberly, excuse me. It's very informative. The info from Discord. Crypto is the future.
Yeah, Kim is there on the regular. She has set through a couple of these Discords.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting. It's very, very interesting because it's just part of the change, man. It's just there's so many changes that are going on in this world, and this is just one of them.
Well, the financial system is something that hasn't had much change or regulation in hundreds of years. And I gotta, my partner, the one I told you I met, he said that last night, and I thought about it, and he's absolutely right. But now, the time is here. The time is here with all this printing of money. I hope the listeners really understand.
And that's like the stimulus checks. That's part of that, isn't it?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. That money is to get you to go, okay, I don't care that you printed another $2 trillion. Just give me my 1,400. But it's a ruse. It is.
Now, I remember one thing back in your timeline, you said there was not a second or third stimulus that came out.
Yeah, that's true.
So what happened? So there are some distinct differences between. Does it kind of like, do you sit back and go, crap?
Well, I analyze it. The election itself was completely different. Which was odd, but I have some theories, and you and I can talk about them before I bring them to your listeners. But there's been distinct differences, and it all started last year. I mean, it was pretty mirrored up until last year, which is, and I often wonder, by me coming out, did I change anything by me bringing this information? You know, I could go down a dozen rabbit holes as to why it's different, but there are distinct differences.
Give us one.
What's that?
Off the cuff. What's one of the differences off the cuff?
Well, I mean, just anything.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was not supposed to happen, was it?
No, it definitely wasn't. But, I called it in October when people were asking. I said, yeah, put your money on Tom Brady to be in the Super Bowl. But then winning the Super Bowl, yeah, I mean, it's shocking, but I understand, there's been ripples that have been made. And I understand some things being different, but I mean, it's starting to get to a point where there's quite a few differences, and I wonder if I played any role in that. I've had those conversations with other members of the Seven.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the Seven again, if you don't mind, for the people that are not familiar with what you mean, the Seven.
Well, there's 7 of us here, and we are here to change the narrative. So this is an experiment. We were gifted this technology to be able to travel into the past, hoping that the outcome would be different in the future. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the future. I mean, there are some things that we as humans would like to change for humanity. So we are all here to do that. Each one of us has an objective that plays a bigger part in this changing of the narrative. We were supposed.
You don't know what the others' objectives are, correct?
No. And so when I met the individual that lives in Russia, who's part of the Seven, he and I discussed, and that was just never a topic that we need to talk about. We know we're not supposed to know. It was designed so that we did not know each other, so that we could not collude and change things, because I guess humans are flawable, very flawable. Okay. So, but by this social media interaction, I've been able to contact a few, and the opinions vary. Some are okay with this, some are very against it. But I don't know his objective. He does not know my objective. No.
Do you all, the ones that you've had contact with, do you all agree that there is some sort of or a ripple effect that's going on, or
yeah, I mean,
what you guys talk about.
Yeah, so I contact with them on a regular basis. I guess not regular. We have contact throughout the weeks, and yeah, I mean, this is a topic that is being more and more discussed. I asked the question, "Hey, did Tom Brady win another Super Bowl? Because in your time, because maybe you're not from my timeline, maybe you're from a different timeline entirely." And we're starting to get to where we see these distinct differences being more rapid. We get to the point where everything is the same, but the outcome is just a little different.
Have you had anybody tell you that knowing their timeline that it was the Chiefs?
No, it's been the same as my timeline. Yeah. So I do believe that we are all from the same timeline,
but maybe a different parallel universe.
No, I think we're all from the same place, point.
Same place.
Time. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Linda asks, "Hi, Mike. Hi, Joe. Good morning, Linda. What are the prisons and jails like? What is the correction system like?"
Well, we are going to get away from privatized prisons. I don't know if legislation has been put in, not or yet, but if it hasn't, it's coming. You have a lot of offenders in the system now that are drug related. So that will change. I'm not going to say if they do heinous crimes that they're not going to be incarcerated, but the emphasis is going to be on rehabilitation and growth rather than, basically, the justice system is very corrupt. The prison system, especially, it's like a warehouse for human beings on some level, especially privatized. But yeah, it's going to change.
Well, one of the things they've announced, like here in Connecticut, is they're closing down one of the jails due to heinous crimes that are being, it's coming down. So they're actually closing one of the jails. But I'm wondering if that's really just a way of turning around and privatizing that facility into something else.
Yeah, there's other theories out there too. In the future, you're going to be kind of forced to play the game, if you will. I don't know how deep I can get into this on your show, but those facilities are going to be changed to they're called like re-education centers for those that do not wish to partake in the new future, which is, get your vaccine, get your digital identifier, live this kind of life right here. There's big changes coming. So they need a place to put these people. Those that do not wish, those 80 million that didn't approve of that.
What about law enforcement? What is that going to be like in the future?
There's an event coming that's going to put a couple things on the radar this year. The Second Amendment. I think it's probably best if I don't give exacts, but because I've had people ask, and I've talked about it in my lives, and I just hey, look, I don't want the government to come to me and say, did you have anything to do with this? How did you know this prior to? So it just puts the Second Amendment on the table. There's going to be trade-ins, buyback programs for your firearms and things of that nature. So that's something that's this year, really big, that people should pay attention to. What was the question you asked again?
I don't even know.
Because I was
what's law enforcement like?
Yeah. Okay, so that also is put front and center. You're going to have private police, like a I don't want to say security because they're not security, but the patrolmen. Now homicide and things like that's still going to be, detectives for the police department, but the patrolmen that have interaction with the public, it's going to be private. It's going to be different. I don't want to say they don't have the same authority, but it's a little less, and they don't enforce it as much.
Well, I know things are some little things are changing. Our governor here in Connecticut yesterday presented his budget for the for the next fiscal year, actually the next two, and he had said that one of the things that he wants is the legalization of recreational marijuana here in Connecticut, where it's not legal yet. Medical marijuana, yes, is, but not recreational. And he was talking about how the tax dollars will certainly help Connecticut. It's helping the neighboring states. One of the things that he brought up is that he had said that if anybody has any like drug charges, marijuana charges, or whatever, those will be stricken from the record. Yeah. They're just going to go away like they never happened before. Is that part of this?
Is that part of what? This big reform?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people that I think they're allowed to expunge it. I don't want to say it's stricken from the record because there are individuals that are incarcerated for, marijuana charges, but they're on a huge level, like a mass level.
Right.
They're given the opportunity to expunge. I don't know that process, but from what I understand, you have to go in front of a judge. The judge then decides whether he's going to allow you to expunge or allow the court to expunge it. I think that process changes, and there's like a magistrate, something like that does these continuously all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll be able to take those. I mean, if it's like a paraphernalia charge or you have a little personal marijuana on you, not the people that had
A little stash of a doob somewhere.
yeah, but not the people that had, 2 trailer loads of ganja and they got busted. I mean, they're going to carry that charge.
Got it. Joe, did you ever work in law enforcement?
No. Do you get that vibe?
I do. I get the cop vibe from you.
I'm not a cop, no. I did have to serve some military in the future, not for the United States government, but yeah, it's not something I could do. So,
are you a spy?
Am I a spy? No, I'm not a spy.
You said for you to do some military for another government.
Yeah, for the one world government that's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not a spy. Listen, I love this country. I am here representing this country in all of this. I love this country. And watching it unfold again, I think it hurts even more because I myself cannot change this. I could do an event or two and then I would probably not be here, but yeah, I mean, this is the collective. Everybody plays a part in changing this. So when you go about your daily life and, if you're a wretched soul and you're not making changes to be better, then you're playing a part in it,
Now, let's get into maybe a little here. This is more of a personal question. So you're in a part of the country that you didn't come from when you were in your own timeline, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so do you ever find yourself trolling Facebook? Like, we all have a best friend. We all have a, or somebody that, like just a pal or something like that. Do you ever troll them to see, what they're doing in this timeline, or if it's different for them? Do they look different?
Absolutely. You got to remember,
shocks?
I was married with children. My then wife, I don't know if I could say ex-wife, my then wife is here now, remarried. That's hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I have family, I have friends, but yeah, absolutely. I have a burner accounts, if you will. Yeah. It's hard to know that I could, I don't want to say I could have my old life back. I mean, it's not possible, but it's hard to not wonder, how these people that I loved are doing. Yeah, absolutely. I do.
So basically what happened in your world, in your timeline, you came back, but then in your timeline, you vanished.
In this timeline? Yeah.
Yeah.
Your timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't vanish in this timeline. You're here.
No, you're the me that was here prior. Yeah. Vanished. 24-year-old never came home from work. Vanished.
That was it.
And I know you had sent me a message about somebody came up with this huge equation about dates, and they were off. They were off by several years.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was.
I appreciate it either way. They put a lot of time into that.
And he might even be listening right now.
That's okay. I mean, he put a lot of time into it, and I understand what he's saying, but he was off on his calculations. So,
can you explain? Can you go into that? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Because
he
I had
had,
asked you one time. I had asked you. I said, how old are you? You said you're in your 40s.
yeah.
And
No one needs to know the exact age, but yeah, I'm in my 40s.
yeah.
But
I
he
don't
had
think I've
he
ever
had
asked you.
he had put too much emphasis on an age that he didn't know, you know. So
Right.
yeah, I mean he was completely off. But I'm going to respond to you so that you can share it with him in
Okay.
writing, you know. Because I don't have it here in front of me, but yeah, he was off. But I mean, it was good. I mean, those are the things. That is how you tell if someone is legit or not. I mean, you have to pick apart their story.
Yeah.
So
I just pasted over the comment to you so you could read it. So, what did you do for entertainment and fun?
What did I do, or what do I do?
Let's go with what did you do in your timeline of 2030?
Survive.
Yeah. What are sports like?
I mean, look. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea. There is society like there is today. It's just very controlled. It's different. Your freedoms that you think you have now, you don't have. You know, you don't have the ability to own things like you own today. I mean, there's a lot of things that are about to change. COVID is the catalyst. I don't know. Mike, we're going to talk in 5 years and we're going to draw a direct line to every major event straight to COVID. Guarantee it. I'll put $10,000 on it. You know, it all goes back to this. So I did not want to be a part of that. You know, I grew up free. I came back here free. You know, I'm going to continue to be free. So I didn't want to be a part of that. I stayed outside the fringes of that. So, I mean, I don't know. Life is a lot simpler because I mean, it wasn't just me. There's tons of people that don't want to adhere to that. You know, you create a community, you know, I mean, you have houses and things like that. You just don't have all the luxuries that you do today. But I don't want people to think like we're going to go back to the Stone Age and things, you know what I mean? I don't want to give them that perspective. It's just, you're not part of that society.
Well, Joel, I've said it. I mean, before, people are afraid of what they don't know. I think it's just a human response to, this situation or pretty much anything. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, and this is really just speaking to one of the points you made, I don't know if it was last time we talked or, online here or before, is that Hollywood has made this, in given us all a perception of what this is all about. And it really has nothing to do with anything.
No, it doesn't.
And it shows, whatever. If you go to Epcot Center down in Florida, and they have the Land of Tomorrow, and you can go through there and, you could consult.
Yeah.
You could consult. Say,
yeah.
Hey, this is what's really going on. Here's one thing that I kind of, I told you I get these little weird predictions here and there. So here's one. Televisions. I did predict the curved this 3 years ago. No malarkey. Curved televisions, 3D, but I see them go more holographic, holograms.
Yep, absolutely. You're going to have.
I don't think they're too far from that.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, you're going to see it within the next 10 years. I'm talking all of your, your devices. You'll be able to open your phone, have a 3D image. Yeah. I mean, that's coming for sure.
Yeah. It's scary to think about it when you're not aware of it.
It's scary to think about it when you are aware of it too. I mean, it's the more that I'm here, everything was fine up until last year because that's when things really start to get moving. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to come back and live this a second time, especially when there are variances. The things are different, not completely different. they're not going down a different path. Just some of the outcomes, are going the other way. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I have a good days and I have my bad days.
Linda says, sounds like you were unhappy in 2030.
Yeah, that's not true.
Okay.
No,
you know what it is? I think people really just romanticize what they believe the future is, and then when they have somebody tell them, "No, this is really what's going on," all of a sudden it's like, well, that's not interesting.
Right. I mean, if I was saying, something to the contrary, I'm sure that they would, they would love it. But I hate to give them this information, Mike. I've said it to you several times. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I got to tell you the truth. Yeah. Can't lie to you. I mean, it's not going to get either of us anywhere. Hey, Sabina, how you doing? I see her comment up there.
Boom. There's another one for you.
Yeah, all the people that follow me, they're awesome. I mean, they are. They support me. They believe what I tell them. I don't think maybe your listeners don't know exactly what's went on since June, but I've given a lot of information out there and it's come to pass. And there's been an item that didn't, and I know people want to focus on that and say, you're not real. That didn't happen. But like I said, I have my thoughts on that,
There was one thing that you had talked about a while ago, and you talked about the chip.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be the last thing for today before we move on. You had mentioned that people get chipped. And you had said that you have a scar from where you dug yours out.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, I mean, it was, I knew it was time to take it out. You cannot survive in the future without it. There's no possible way. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you're not going to be able to shop. You're not going to be able to go to the doctor. You're not going to be able to, get into. I know some people right now need some assistance. You're not going to be able to get any of that. If you go to the hospital, you don't have a chip, you're going to be turned away. And I know that sounds crazy. And I know people are probably like, yeah, right. It's the truth. They want you to have this. This is going to revolutionize humanity. That's how they present it to you, this microchip. You have to have it. I had it, but I also had one that was not legit, if you will. For the people that don't want to adhere to this, there are going to be people to help you. Doctors, people in technology that don't see this new world that's coming as free. There's going to be an underground community that's going to help you. I mean, so it's just all about you and what you decide, what you want.
Are you anxious for the quote unquote new future, especially if things are changing?
I still think the outcome is going to be exactly the same. This is how I explain it. I think there are fixed points in time that will not change. No matter what road you travel to get to that point, that fixed moment in time will not change. These big events will not change. So I ultimately think that the outcome will be the same. The road traveled may be a little different. We may take a turn here, a turn there.
Kind of like the yellow brick road.
Yeah. I mean, the outcome is still going to be the same. We are still going to meet the man behind the curtain, down the road. I mean, that's not going to change. So I tried to piggyback on your comment.
If the relationships are the relationships between countries better or worse?
Well, you're about to see, because they're nothing is going good right now. Pay attention to the news. Watch where these other countries are putting assets.
Talking about the bombers going into Norway?
Yeah. for all the people that voted just to get somebody out of office, you should have focused on who you were bringing in, because things are about to get a little dicey on that front.
So
now,
then,
I'm not saying there's going to be a world war or anything like
there
that.
you go. There you go. See that I was going to bring that up. I was going to say, are we going to be up against a situation where we're going to be into a duck and cover mode?
Well, I mean, things are going to get a little tense. You know, you went from having somebody in office that gave all these countries just enough space to where they didn't totally hate our position, to somebody that, things are going to get dicey. The conflict is not going to arise like a world war or anything like that. I don't want anybody to freak out, but there are going to be moments that seem really tense. There's going to be like standoff situations where you're like, this could go really bad. And it's all political theater.
Yeah, I don't think the missiles are going to fly.
No, they're not. But the perception is going to be that that's a possibility.
Fear.
We've talked about it. They want you to live in a state of fear, because when you're in fear, you're not thinking with your right mind. If you're not thinking with your right mind, you're focused over here. They can do whatever they want back there.
I tell you, one of the things that's always been in my head, and it's strange, on how many things that I've had thoughts about, personally, coincide with a lot of things that you say that are either here or coming. One of the biggest things that have always resonated with me is, you can talk about why we're here on Earth, are we here to be tested or whatever. My belief is that we are here to learn to not be afraid. That's always been my thought since I can remember. We're here to learn how not to be afraid.
Well, I mean, think about it, Mike. Fear is the ultimate motivator. There are people that are, not very athletic, but you put some fear behind them and they're running a 4.40. I mean, that's where they want you to be. I think about this last year. Where's your mind been? What state has your mind been in? Fear. We wear masks. We can't go outside. You can only have 6 people in this group, 5 people in that group, 2 people in church. I mean, fear. It's all about fear.
All right, I'm gonna present one more question to you. But before that, I want to stress that please subscribe to our YouTube channel, SNSN Radio. Also, any of our other social medias as well. But,
make sure you do, guys.
What's
Everyone
that?
listening, go out and get SNSN Radio. Subscribe. I'll do it for you, Mike.
All right, Joe. I'm waiting. Let's do it again one more time. That was you're smooth, man. You're smooth.
Hey, I mean, I never thought that I would be okay at doing a little radio, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
What's funny is that the other thing is too is that when you come back, you've made different decisions than you were when you first time around. So that's going to create a different narrative, or even a different even a parallel universe. You're going to go based on where your decisions are.
Yeah. But I've tried really hard. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, say to me, it's not far fetched to sit here and think, okay, well, there's a different outcome over here as opposed to over here, because there have been different decisions made. You may have said, okay, well, I thought about this last time, but now I'm going to go this way, and that's going to change your entire timeline.
Yeah, and there's 7 of us here making these decisions, so.
To change the narrative.
But I've done everything possible to not interfere with these things that are coming, everything possible.
Here's the last question. When is the draft going to be reinstated, if at all?
No draft reinstatement. We're talking about military draft? No.
I'm assuming.
Not for no. Let me change that. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Not for the United States government. No.
But for the one world government, who the hell are they going to fight?
No. You have to serve 6 months, no matter what. If you have to.
Certain age group.
Yeah, it's like 18 to 41, I think 42. Yeah, man and woman. Don't think you're exempt, ladies. And really, a lot of it is like classes and things like that. But you have to put in your time. That way, if there is somebody that decides they don't want to be part of this anymore, they can call up whoever's in the area to pounce.
Yeah. All right, dude. We're gonna call it quits for today.
Okay.
I know I'm sure you got a lot of things going on.
Always got time for you, Mike.
Yeah, you too, dude. I'll send you a message in a little bit later, and we'll plot our next crazy venture.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you soon.
Yep.
All right, that's Joe, our time traveler from the year 2030. And thanks for joining us today, guys. We will be back once again tomorrow morning. Hopefully, Paul will make it in because he's getting his second COVID shot today. So we'll check it out. So Stump the Chump on a Friday coming tomorrow, and that'll be cool. It's always fun because he makes me look stupid, which is not as well. It's pretty easy to do. Angela coming up a little bit later on from 2 to 6, and Phil Michelle right after 12 with Live from the Griswold Youth Center. That's all happening right here. We have your listening day planned. You're welcome. Ha! SNSN Internet Radio.
The flagship for Griswold High School sports and your home for local news and weather broadcast.